I'm standing on a pretty impressive place. I found this as I was driving. Anyways, this is such a cool place, and it inspired me to talk about the time I made my own perfume. Let's go. There's a lot of bees though, so that's the one thing I hate about flowers, the bees. No, it's not Christmas, but why not? Okay, so the reason why I made this video was to discuss with you guys my top colognes that I own in my collection, and also tell you guys about some special colognes that I want, as well as special Nimsy picked colognes by a very honorable Nimsy, both on the live stream channel and on this channel. Shout out to Tequila Niqua. So by the way, as I mentioned, I have always loved colognes, fragrances, trying new scents. As I said, when I was small, I grabbed a bunch of flowers, I took one of my parents' pots, just put roses and jasmine and anything, any flower I got my hands on in my garden, threw it in the pot, boiled it, took that water and smelled it, and I was like, this smells so gross. So I was like, no, I'm still making my own perfume. So I went and got my mom's like most expensive bottles and emptied it into this pot, and then I like walked around and was like, hey, my perfume is ready. And first of all, it smelled like, and then second of all, like, they were mad at me. But anyways, with that story, let's get into my favorite colognes. One of my all-time favorite colognes and ultimate recommendations to you guys is to get Terre de Hermes. This is amazing, especially the parfum version. It just smells more green, if that makes sense. The thing about Hermes colognes and fragrances is that there's a heavy citrus note to it, and that's why I kind of stay away from it, because as you guys see, I'm more into sweet scents, sweet floral tones. But the citrus in this is cool because it has a lot of vegetable notes to it too, so the citrus leaf, the tree, the branch, everything that has to do with the orange tree. And again, when you spray this, come to me, Hermes. But when you smell this, there's a smell of bark, there's a smell of the leaves, there's a smell of the orange blossom, there's a smell of cedar. The bottle is really cool, minimalistic, just the H and then turns up and down. But this lasts a long time too. If you want another really long lasting, kind of strong, powerful, bold fragrance, go with Terre de Hermes. Amen from Thierry Mugler is another one of my favorites. It smells like chocolate, cinnamon, nutmeg. It goes to your skin, kind of molds there, heats up. It gets that kind of cologne smell that you want. Really fresh, yet spicy. This isn't for everyone though, not a lot of people like it. They also have the version called malt, I believe coffee. So this was the first one that came out, and I think the other version played on this really heavily dessert smell. I smell like a chocolate cake, like chocolate Nims cake is, you know, me with this on it. So I definitely recommend it if you want something out there. This smells really, really similar to a really expensive cologne by Kilian called Love Don't Be Shy. And that's like $300 and doesn't last, but this thing lasts like over a day and a half. Sometimes when I wear this the next morning when I wake up, there's still hints of it. So if you want something really strong, pungent, different, unique, definitely try Amen from Thierry Mugler. So, one of my all-time favorite colognes, I've talked about this multiple times, but I had to include this in this list, is Marc Jacobs Men. The classic, the first scent, the one that started it all, by Marc Jacobs. This is one of the most unique smelling colognes out there. At the time it came out, it was really like unique and revolutionary because it doesn't smell like your classic men's cologne, fresh out the shower smell. It actually smells like flowers and neroli and orange blossom. Plants. It smells really different, and when you spray it on, that's what you get. The cool thing about it is though, as it sits on your skin, it kind of warms up. It has some vanilla tones in there as well, but all these sweet flavors kind of warm up. But it's a really amazing scent. It's sweet, it's subtle, and if you definitely are one of those people that are concerned with smelling like cologne as opposed to yourself, definitely try this out. So it definitely can't be a cologne video, a men's essential cologne video, without me talking about the L'Homme brand colognes from YSL. As you guys know, this is a very, very popular scent ever since it came out. Magazines have written about it, vloggers have talked about it, and there's so many different versions of it. As you guys can see, I have two versions, the original L'Homme and also L'Homme Sport. This one is also, you guys will see a trend with all the colognes that I like, but I really like sweet smelling colognes and colognes that don't smell like a traditional cologne. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's stuff that when you smell it, it makes you think like, oh, there's this note in it, there's that note in it, and that's what I love. And this one, I'm going to be smelling like so many colognes today, but when you spray this, you get vanilla, you get a little bit of apple. I smell like apple cider in there. There's a really fresh smelling floral note in there as well, but then at the end of it, it does have a classic kind of like aftershave, face wash, men's wash kind of like smell to it. Very subtle though. When you first smell it though, you get those apple and floral and spice notes. The sport one is basically the same thing, a little bit more wet. So it's a lot more fresh, it's less subdued, there's really low amounts of that floral and apple notes that's in this one. So think of this one you could wear during the day, this one you could wear during the day if you work like in a law firm or something kind of like fancy, but this one is great for going out to dinner, going out on a date. This is a classic date night cologne because it's been rated #1 by girls for like years now. The last fragrance that I chose is for the guys that like that fresh, really simple, kind of subtle, one-note smelling fragrance. They don't want a lot of like floral notes and spices and all these things, and sometimes I'm in that mood as well, and for that I grab Sauvage from Dior. This is an amazing, really simple smelling cologne. It has a berry tone to it, it has a little bit of grape in there, but other than that, it kind of smells just like, it just smells like you're really clean. It just smells like you have a little bit of kind of like blueberry in there, but at the end of the day, you're really clean and you're really fresh. It's a really refreshing scent for the summertime as well. And I definitely wear this during the summer. It has a lot of, just reminds me of a barrel of blueberries, like Huckleberry Finn. But anyways, now let's go to the top 5 colognes that I actually want, or my grails of colognes, as well as recommendations by you, aka Tequila Niqua. Okay, so now we're going to be going over the colognes that I actually really want, that I don't have, and I just figured I'll do it on my laptop because this way you guys can see the bottle, see what it is, and maybe you'll like it. Also the pricing. Okay, so one of my favorite scents and colognes right now that I want, that I've smelled, and I'm really obsessed with, is Le Labo's Santal 33. This is a really famous cologne as well, and Le Labo is made in New York, and it's a really kind of like chemical, like if you guys are seeing the bottle online, it looks really kind of like lab style. Not a lot of stores carry it, not a lot of Nordstrom carry it either. It depends, but every scent that I smelled from Le Labo smells really good, and Santal 33 is one of them. But look at the pricing here. For a 1.7, you're looking at $180, so it is pretty pricey. There are a lot of alternatives to this cologne as well, so that's why I've kind of been shying away from it. So another cologne that I really love is Black Orchid from Tom Ford. This was actually marketed more towards like a women's fragrance, I remember when it first came out, but recently men have been wearing it, and more recently it's been included in the men's cologne section as well, which is pretty cool. It's an amazing scent. Really unique, like it honestly does smell like what an orchid would smell. So it's a floral, but then when you smell it, it doesn't smell like a traditional flower. There's something odd about it. There's something kind of pungent. There's like a little bit of a harshness to it, which I really like. And the bottle, like anything Tom Ford, is really unique in my opinion, but still classic at the same time. So I've also talked about this fragrance 100 times probably on my channel whenever I've talked about colognes, but it's Aventus by Creed, and Creed is another one of those companies that's really pricey, but the scent is just so unique and so amazing. Although, if you guys watch one of my vlogs, I think it was about cologne again, spring colognes, where I found something from Zara, Aromatic Future is the name of the cologne, that smells really close to Creed and lasts the same amount. That's why, again, I've held off on this, but again, $230 for 1 ounce, so you're looking at even a smaller amount than the Labo. Okay, so right now we're going to get into the recommendations chosen by Tequila Niqua, because Tequila Niqua seems like a really expert in fragrances. Like the notes are all there, the times you could wear them. I was really impressed with these notes, so let's review the first page. Here are the Holy Tequila Niqua cologne recommendations right here. Okay, so the signature of Tequila Niqua is D&G Light Blue, and I couldn't agree more. It just smells so amazing. I have it as well. I actually like light blue for women more than the light blue for men. The men one has this kind of like water undertone that doesn't really work really well with my skin. But DG Light Blue for women has this kind of milky, creamy, floral smell that can be applied to men too because of that citrus notes that are in it. So really great choice. Another cologne that you have listed here is Jimmy Choo Man Intense. I actually really love the smell of that. So Givenchy Gentleman Only Intense. I actually have a Gentleman Only. Let me bring it. And it's actually a really good smell. It's really smoky. It's one of the most smokiest colognes that I own. And it's basically, the way I would describe it is pine, like pine wood, lemon. There's like a citrus note in there. But I like the intense version that you said a little bit more. It comes in an all black matte bottle. And it's a little bit more sweeter, exactly like I like it. But Gentleman Only isn't bad either. If you want like a... Think of burnt wood. There's a lot of like burnt wood with a little bit of citrus in there. Great choices. Thank you so much to Kilaniqua. And as always, if you guys ever have recommendations like this or would like me to do a video similar to this with other recommendations you have, I am down to do that. So thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to click here to subscribe to my channel. If you're not, make sure to leave a like as well. And until next time, peace.